The House has resumed, and the House is debating the appropriation of the Estimates Bill and the amendment to the proposed thereto. It's the second reading. Paul Goldsmith has the call. He's 3 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Paul Goldsmith.
Yeah, look, I was talking about how this budget was a sensible one and had taken a firm line on spending and had invested in our future during difficult times. And I talked about the National Party's understanding of what really were the drivers of economic growth, and that came down to having companies that were successful internationally, making money and beating the competition. And I talked about what they needed for success: good ideas, access to good ideas, access to good strong capital flows, access to raw materials and primary industries, skills and customers, and where we talked about market access and the fact that thankfully Labor, notwithstanding Mr Shearer's anti-foreign investment rhetoric, still believes that market access is an important thing, and there has been a measure of bipartisanship in the House on that subject. I wasn't so sure about the Greens. The final area that I think is, which is obviously clearly important for economic growth, is good, sensible investment in infrastructure. And here we're talking about electricity transmission, the ultra-fast broadband, building and construction and transport. Roads, for a start, in Auckland, where I come from, lives have been transformed, Mr Speaker, by the second Manukau Harbour crossing, by the Victoria Park Tunnel, relieving pinch points in Auckland's arterial road network. And the Greens and the Labour Party tend to oppose everything that we do on the roads. They're in the thrall of public transport at the expense of everything else, even when there is a very poor return. And we saw in the Herald this morning yet another story of only a handful of commuters using the $81 million rail line to Manukau, and that's how the state can spend your money if it's in the wrong hands. So this budget, it seems to me, is continuing a sensible line which the government outlined since it came into office in 2009, showing stability and sensible management in a time of difficulties. The other thing I just wanted to mention was the canard that we hear time and time again, that the National Party has simply given tax cuts to the rich. And this has been a line that the Greens have used time and again, when it is factually incorrect when you look at the numbers. Just what happens, that's what happens when you only look at 2 out of the 13 components of the 2010 tax package. Mr Norman tends to pick out personal tax cuts and GST and ignores all the other parts, such as changes to depreciation, LAQCs and thin capitalisation rules. I suppose it's because they're not quite sure how they work, but depreciation changes alone raised $1 billion in extra revenue each year, mostly affecting high-income earners. And when you look at the 2010 tax changes overall, the burden of that has been borne very evenly across all income groups. And so this is a very sensible budget that we've brought here, and I fully support it. Thank you very much.
Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. This